is up, everybody? It's your boy Bobby from Bobby's Breakdowns coming at you with another live stream, and we have a special guest on today. Without, I don't know what I was trying to say there. Without further ado, there we go. I'm gonna let him do his talking. Indie wrestler and friend of the channel, Michael Gabriel. How we doing, Mike?
Bobby, what a great and blessed and enlightened day it is here. Thanks for having me on the show, pal.
Of course. Thanks
I was
for
just
joining us.
freshening up a little bit. You know,
Of course.
as I can see, I have this great and mighty book right here, the Book of Gabriel. It's a light to my feet and a lamp to anybody that may choose and may heed its words for guidance and wisdom. So
I
tonight,
love it.
thank you, Bobby, even though you've been blowing up my DMs. I sent you the request. You have not paid the love offering yet, but I've decided because the message is much, much clearer. Much, much clearer. But Bobby, thank you, sir. And let the guiding light shine on you and anybody else here tonight on your Bobby's Breakdowns.
I appreciate that, my friend. Thank you. And again, thank you for joining me. Um, I do have some questions for you. Um,
Absolutely. Ask away.
but
I'm all ears, and I'm quite frankly, that you would say, kind of an open book. I'm quite a funny guy, you know?
well, actually, that leads into perfectly. So we were messaging each other. What was this, like Thursday, Wednesday? No, earlier than that. Monday or Tuesday, maybe. And I asked Michael, as I do all my guests, is there anything you can't talk about, you don't want to talk about, because I don't want to be that guy to mention it and then he gets mad at me, all that jazz. Without hesitation, this man said, I have a NDA from Brawl out. And I started cracking up and I was like, yeah.
we,
I
we
laughed.
weren't supposed to talk about this.
Uh, oh, sorry. Tony
I
Khan.
may have, I can't say, because a certain person in Jacksonville is very, very, very much paying me a lot of money to my cause to not say anything. But Larry the dog, he's a good guy, good dog.
It's a great guy.
And it was
And
it was it was it was a I'll get how about this. I know how you probably follow all the little dirt sheets and take care
of
because
course,
you're journalists. You want to make sure that the stories are right and the facts are there. Let's just say that it was clobbering time, pal.
I follow the journalists. I'm in a fantasy wrestling league. I'm trying to win the whole thing. You know.
Well, there's certain people in Jacksonville that do that thing too, and you just don't have $1 billion. So sorry,
That's
pal.
true. That's true. I do not. I wish I did. And Tony Khan, if you're watching, and we know you are, Michael Gabriel is not in trouble. Michael Gabriel is a great guy. Michael
Yeah,
Gabriel
Tony.
hasn't said
Actually,
anything.
Tony Khan, give me a call. I think I know some guys too that need a little bit of the guiding light, per se. The
We'll go through
invitation's
some.
there. The invitation
Yeah.
is open.
Hey, you got to shoot your shot, man.
That's right.
Denisha says, "Hey Bobby, how are you doing today? I am doing great, Denisha. Sitting here with my boy Mike." She says, "CM Punk, yeah." I don't know why I said that like LA Knight. It's second nature at this point. Zero News, my co-host from the weekly show of Zero Uncut. And actually, we do have to talk to you about that off air, Mike. I meant to mention that earlier, but we discussed that a little.
I'm always
Hey
open for
Zero,
business.
thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us. And Denisha says, "Hey Zero." All right, so Michael Gabriel, acquaintance of a friend of the channel who has been on here before. Shoop. Uh,
The
how are you
man
and
that trains God.
I love it. I couldn't have done that better. All right, so I told you I did dive into you a little through various different sources. So, this source wanted me to ask you about the church. So, if you would open up about that, please.
Church.
Hmm.
What do you think I have a church?
I I
That
can't
seems kind
disclose my sources.
Bobby, that seems a little narrow-minded. Because see, I I I kind of provide something a little bit different,
Okay.
because we've all been in those spots. We've all been in those places, whether there's the steeple, whether there's the big grand light show, where there's the people driving in on monster trucks and everything for the good book and for the good Lord. And I respect that because you know why? Brings in a lot of money, a
Good
lot
Bill
of
Raymond.
time, a lot of buy in, and a lot of we get to do this mindset. But I used to kind of adhere to that mindset. I used to kind of think that, this might be a way to go. The problem is that there's lots and lots of flaws. And one day, I just happened to open my mind, open my eyes, kind of just crash every little thing that the conditioning had on you. And you come into reality and you realize that one day, everything you believed, everything you taught, everything you saw, is it is it the truth? Is it a lie? But you see, one day I laid my weary head down to sleep. I dreamed a dream that quite frankly, Bobby, you're a nice man, but your small mind just probably couldn't handle. And what that
Oh,
was that the Almighty Himself came to me and said, I've picked you. I've picked you, sir. And I used to go by a different name, a different moniker, a different gimmick. But this is where Michael Gabriel was born. Because after that dream, the Almighty called me to humble the masses. And you might think, oh, this is a preacher man, and I'm like, this guy, he reminds me of such and such and such. He should just paint his face red and come out and man as the Undertaker at Survivor Series. No, because I was reading a book the other day. A very, very, very wise man said in this book that anger is a gift. And you see, I had a lot of anger. And the funny thing is I still do. But that's okay. That's all fine and dandy. Because you see, I've learned how to just harness it, just pack it in my little old pea picking heart and channel it right when it's necessary and when it's needed. Because that is what the guiding light is all about. And that the Almighty commissioned me to write down everything that I saw and heard in that dream and the guiding light, which I referred to simply as my method, simply as my way of doing life. That's how eventually it will shine brightly on every single person that steps in the ring with me. And it'll shine the light on you too, pal.
thank you. I appreciate that.
Is
Thank
that the answer
you.
you're looking is that the answer you're looking for,
I
Bobby?
think I I think I got much more from that than I could have ever imagined. But that's good. And we do have a question for you, Mike, if you are willing to answer.
Of
Ryan
course, of
says,
course. That's why I'm here. I'm here. I'm a man of the people. I am just a light for you. And for the people asking questions, ask away.
Alrighty. So my editor, Ryan, he says, "What's up?" First of all, Michael, did you get your inspiration from your persona from Far Cry? For your persona from Far Cry. That's actually that leads into my next question.
Um, is that enlighten me, Bobby, because I'm not quite not the quite as familiar, but just
Together.
enlighten me, please.
Uh I don't know. So Ryan, you're gonna have to comment a little
Well,
more
no,
with
no, no,
this.
no. Then I misspoke. Forgive me.
Okay,
It's Far
you're
Cry you're
forgiven.
talking about.
Yes,
What
I
is it?
believe. I believe it's a video game. I believe.
Oh gosh, you carnal-minded beings.
I
I
don't play it,
mean,
man.
what, Bobby? Bobby, I mean, are you one of these people that sits around, wastes your life, and gets caught up into the world, a fantasy land where you can be and do quests and all these things? Are you one of those people?
Guilty as charged.
Well,
Yes.
I think there's a word for that, and it's called nerd. I'm just playing with you, pal. It's all good. See, I'm a
I
funny
love it.
guy.
I love it.
You
I am a
you
nerd,
you
though.
you had me. You thought I was gonna yell at you. You thought I was gonna admonish you for your behavior, but no, Bobby, you're a friend. And to you who asked that question, sir, I am familiar with this Far Cry thing too, because my one of my family members, he's all into that stuff and video games, and spent a lot of money on my what do you call it, my betrothers, or you probably say your parents in normal New Jersey speak. Um,
Yes,
they
parents.
a lot of the credit cards that and debit cards they had. He spent something like V-Bucks. It was, but to answer your question, I do a lot of research because whether that goes from the business world, the faith and religious world, to social justice, because I don't know if you caught that quote, but that quote that I said that anger is a gift was by none other than one of the most enlightening men on the planet, Malcolm X. God rest his soul. And so,
Cool.
yeah, my work is not just, there's lots of people that have laid the path before me. I just happen to walk on it.
All right. So
You like that? Do you
I,
like that? Do you like that answer, Bobby? Was that
I,
good?
like I said before, there was a question, and I couldn't have imagined that kind of answer. But I love it.
See,
I love it, Mike.
the Almighty doesn't just do things coincidentally. You know what? You might walk away from this too, and we might have to talk about some things off air, contributions wise.
I understand. Larissa Gonzalez Earhart, family member of mine, says, "I'm here." Well, hello. And she's texting me right now trying to get a read on you. And would you like me to read the text that she has?
She's trying to get a read on me,
Yeah.
like, yeah, sure, send the yeah, whatever, yeah, whatever. Read the
She
text.
says she says he loves Jesus, I think.
He's a
She's
respected
right.
individual.
She just wrote stop. I mean,
Oh, wait,
do you love Jesus, Mike?
next question.
Okay. Casey
It's part. Hey,
Kazana,
hey,
thank
hey,
you
hey.
for.
To be fair, I think he's in that NDA from the brawl out. So Bobby. My hands are tied.
Jesus is at the NDA. Oh my goodness, you are okay. All right, fair enough.
I
Moving on.
wish. I really wish. Thank you for that question, but I can't comment. I can't comment.
Casey Kazana, thank you for
Oh
joining
my
us.
goodness,
Says my
KC,
tag
pal.
partner. Yeah,
Wow.
I'm. Thank you for joining us, Casey.
Casey,
Case.
Casey Kazana, what a story. He's a second generation, third generation. I can't remember. It's just the fact that the Kazana family,
Oh, I can say it, man.
they got deep blood here in East Tennessee. His brother AJ and him currently tearing it up right now in the NWA. The
There we
Country
go.
Gentlemen. They might even be great people to bring on this show. I don't know how much they would talk about because it'd probably be a lot of, hey, pal, well, poof, well, I'm just going to beat people up in the most loving way. But they are from the Bullhead Ranch. Have you ever been to Bullhead Ranch?
I have not.
It's it's a work in progress. That I can tell you that. So it's a work in progress. Casey and AJ are doing well. Papa Joe Kazana, he is he's awesome. He's phenomenal. But I do have to say, my favorite Kazana out of all the Kazanas is Mama Kazana.
There you go. She's a
Like
head coach.
I look because me and KC, we are the East Tennessee Tag Team Champions at SOM 505 Live. So I have nothing but love to say. But he's like my third favorite Kazana. And like I said, pal, I say that with all the love, peace, and forgiveness in my heart. But Mama Kazana, she's just a real one. What do the kids? What do the kids say? She's for the streets or something like in the cut. I don't know. I try to be joking. Bobby, are you sick?
Okay. You
I
mentioned
wasn't even I wasn't even cracking a joke, sir.
you mentioned the country gentleman before. It's a
Yes.
small world. I've actually had one half of the country gentleman on my channel before. Anthony Andrews,
God rest his
friend of the
soul.
channel.
He is, yeah, yeah. He was the
Friend of the channel.
original. He was the original country gentleman, but I think
Hmm.
the direction that they're going in now
Yeah.
is a
Well,
lot is it's a lot more fruitful.
there
So
you go. Casey Kazeta said we don't speak of him. Listen, y'all have your beef with him. I get that. Friend of the channel, friend of mine, great guy. That's all
I
I'll say.
think
That's all. Leaving it at that.
I do have to say this. I think weirdly, I just looked at the book of Gabriel, and it's the book of Gabriel has my personal book. Gabriel has a lot of different documents and stuff in it for my own sake, because I'm a
Mm-hmm.
busy guy, but at the same time, I think he was involved in all that stuff too. NDA.
Ooh. Ooh. Interesting. Interesting.
I'll
Interesting.
let if I'll let KC or AJ enlighten you on all that. So, anywho, let the guiding light shine upon you today, Anthony Andrews.
We have Hollywood Gavin pop into the chat. What's up, buddy? Thank you for joining us. He says he's a messiah. What do you think about that?
Yeah, Messiah. That's a big title. Some people would say that. Some people would say charlatan. Some people would just say an impersonator. Some people would just say he doesn't know what he's talking about. And that's fine. That's dandy. It's understandable. But one day, when every knee shall bow and tongue will confess, where you'll be at. That's all I just gotta say.
Okay, fair
Because
enough.
I don't, I'm just a messenger. I've just been bestowed the honor of being able to pass the knowledge that was granted to me along to the masses, along to the sheep that need guiding light. Me, I'm just a vessel, as you would say. if I really had it, I wouldn't even go by Michael Gabriel. I would just go by like one, two, or three, just a number because of how humble I am. But I understand in order for me to communicate with the masses, I must present the name that the Almighty has given me. So
Okay.
take that.
Yeah. We have some other comments. Come What May has joined us. Thank you for joining us. Hey, Mikey, Gabe, the Canties love ya.
Hello. I know these people very well. Thank you for watching.
I
Thank
just
you
read the
for
comments as they come in.
no. I actually personally know these people. That's
Okay, I was gonna say, I'm like, if they don't, I don't know, man.
no. See. This is what happens when you have Michael Gabriel in your show. I'm a draw, pal.
It's true. This is a big one for me so far,
I'm
view wise.
here. We are, man. Let the prophecy be fulfilled. But hey, at the end of the day, the Canties love you dearly. I go
Yeah,
way back with these people. Been in the trenches in certain places with these people. They know they know what's happened. They know what I've accomplished before I've gotten on this grand stage. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys and wish you nothing but the best. And personally will assure that the guiding light shines brightly on you
there you
forever.
go. All right. Hardollars, aka Harley. Welcome, buddy. Thank you for joining us. This guy got a nice beard.
If you send me $15, I'll let you touch it.
Ooh,
Just kidding. I'm
Harley.
not like that. I much rather would be like, but thank you for the compliment. I really appreciate that. I'm not one of
he
those
said
people.
he said take notes, Bob. Harley. It's just genetics, man. This is what
Well, Bobby, I was once in your shoes once, and all it really takes is patience, endurance, and long suffering. So I tell people, problem is that people just don't have the patience to do
hmm
things. This didn't take just a day and a half and some foam and this and that. It took a long time. And in a lot of cultures, having a beard signifies wisdom and maturity. So, one would argue that I'm wise beyond my years.
I could agree to that for sure. Zero News says chin strap. Ryan, if I get rid of the chin strap, then I have nothing. What? I don't know. It just yeah.
I
What do you?
feel your pain, but Bobby,
Yeah.
to your credit, you seem to be on the right path.
Thank you. Listen to that, Ryan.
All you got to do is keep going, keep it pushing, and just follow the path. Follow the path that you created on your face.
There you go. Thank you.
And one day you might get like a quarter to this. But that's
Mm,
I know how people are. Not everyone. We're all gifted in many ways, and facial hair
yep.
may not be one of those.
Yes. Exactly. And Ryan, he's got you beat on beard too, buddy. So I'm just saying. Harley says $15 to touch. Can I toss another 15 for something else? Interesting.
Just throw it in my offering plate, pal.
All right, Harley, the ball is in your court. All right, Mike. Now, before more comments come in, I have some questions for you, my friend.
Yeah,
Some more
we
questions,
just been
actually.
having such a fun time. I forgot you were
Yeah,
even asking me stuff. We just been spitballing.
that's great. I love it. I love it. When it's always relaxed, it's a good environment. That's always good. But your inspiration in wrestling. Now, I think I have an idea, but please enlighten us on your inspiration in wrestling.
Um, you know, there's a lot of people that would I think I know which way you're going. I think you would want to say Um, Somebody that, quite frankly, is very near and dear to my heart. Um, was quite it was quite the news um, when I heard about Wyndham Rotunda's passing,
Yep, you nailed it.
and I look at things like that and I say, this man had the whole world in his hands, and arguably still does, because there's nobody, and I don't think anybody else would replicate the way Wyndham Rotunda, otherwise known as Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, you name it, could do. Now, Bray, he had a lot of demons in the ring. You
Hmm.
saw how he presented himself with his Firefly Funhouse, all his different things that he did in the ring, how his different rivalries and all this and that. But his demons were a lot darker than maybe you would think. He was very abstract. He communicated in a way that made you think, that made you really analyze yourself. But for me, I'm a little bit more black and white. And when I say that, I deal with what people usually go through. You know, people sit there, they walk around aimlessly. They have no purpose. They have no vision. They need guidance. And people look for that in a lot of things. They look for that in relationships. They look for that in money. They look for that in extracurricular activities, if you know what I mean. And it's unfortunate because it plagues our nation. It plagues our communities. But for me, I just simply offer something that's up to you to try out. You see, the guiding light, we're for everybody. And we just want you, just take my hand, because I can guide you to the Almighty so that the light can shine brightly through you and therefore shines brightly into others. Now, I digressed a little bit because I have to compare and contrast because I do have that deep admiration for him, someone like him. But when it comes to in the ring style, I'd say guys, um, like more honestly, kind of more that's not in the big that hasn't been in the big companies like Brad Armstrong was a really big name here in the South. You know, he was very athletic, very underrated, and I love watching him perform in the ring. And also Bobby Eaton. Bobby Eaton was
Okay, of
another.
course.
The
Yep.
Midnight Express. They set the world on fire with their rivalry with the Rock and Roll Express. And they really set the pace. I feel like, and for what modern wrestling is, and they were doing that in the '80s and the '90s. Um, so I mean, those guys are. I look and study people like them to see how I can convey and how I can do things as well. More modern examples, I'd say, are people like, let's just say, I admire Andrade's work, although I'm no
That's a good one.
luchador. I am no luchador by any standard of the means, but the way Andrade carries himself in the ring, great storytelling. Another I just appreciate just the way and the vibe. There's another guy who I don't think he's gotten the recognition that he deserves, but Malachi Black.
Fair enough.
Malachi's another one. He leans more on the darker side of things, and I appreciate that because just like myself, I have a message to convey. The House of Black also has a message to convey as well, and how we choose to do things, it's different. It's different flavors of ice cream. So with people like that, I study and mold. and monitor to see how I can ultimately become the best at my craft.
Those are some good answers. And Malachi Black is a good one. Andrade is a very good in ring worker. And going back to what you said on Bray Wyatt, aka Wyndham Rotunda, um, you mentioned like when the news broke, what happened. I remember where I was when the news broke. Absolutely heartbreaking, but not to get dark or sad. Uh, Next question I have for you. Wrestling. Was it always in the plans, or was there something else at play?
Quite frankly, it was not.
Okay,
This is just a unique avenue that I have to get my message out towards.
okay.
Because the Almighty didn't want me just going the conventional way that you see a lot of people go about spouting stuff. And yeah, it might get them this and that and honors and riches, but the wrestling ring, the wrestling ring needs some enlightenment. Because there's a lot of people out there that masquerade around, smiling to the people, kissing babies, shaking hands, coming out with that fire. Yeah! Woo! I'm a man of the people. But in reality, they are dark, twisted, sadistical beings that need, whether that be some redemption or just some enlightenment. And enlightenment doesn't just come from my book. Enlightenment doesn't just come from me talking. But enlightenment comes from inflicting pain. You ever thought about that? You know, it's kind of a cliche setting, but pain is weakness leaving the body. I think I adhere to that a lot because I've had a lot of pain in my life. And I know you probably have had a lot of pain in your life. Have you ever just wanted to step in there? And even though you've got a job, you've got a family, you've got all these different things, you just wanted to get in there and just squeeze the life out of them. Well,
Yeah,
when I step into that squared
everything.
circle, that's what happens.
Okay. Harley said Bobby's had a lot of pain. 28 years of it, to be exact. Harley. Um, so, you said wrestling was never in the plans, quite frankly. What was your original plan?
Well, my original plan was I was just kind of like the conventional American person. Everybody, wants to kind of live the dream and live out their, where they have a family, where they have the white picket fence and they have the house and they have the job and it pays them really well and they can go on vacation and they can do all these different things and they have all this stuff and they just simply exist. That was me. That's what I wanted to do. That's what my mindset was because I thought I would just entrench myself because a that would get me the love and support of people that I wanted them to. I wanted to be admired for my work ethic and man, this guy's just such a great just worker. He's just all about it. He's all in. And that he gets to do all this stuff. But I realized, Bobby, is that life ain't fair. People
Damn
promise you
right.
one thing and they say one thing, but they speak out of both sides of their mouth. They're liars. They're connivers. And they'll stab you right in the back as soon as one little thing doesn't go their way. So, I got myself in a weird spot. I was just wondering of what I should do. I got a little down in the dumps, got a little just way off the path. But like I said, one day, after a long, erroneous day of just doing every type of just irrational and horrible things you can think of. It's when the Almighty stepped in. And here I am today, letting the guiding light shine upon everybody I see and everybody that I gets in the ring. You know?
Okay. I like it. I like it a lot.
Do you, Bobby?
Whew. I do, and I'm
Do
gonna
you,
hit you with
Bobby?
an. I'm
Do you
gonna.
want me to say that I've it's been my dream and I want to be the WWE champion?
I
No.
want you to be honest, and
I
you have.
am. I
Yeah,
am. I am. Don't yell. Don't yell. Don't raise your voice at me, Bobby. Don't you dare. I know you were begging me and begging me and begging me for weeks to come on your show.
true.
And I made time. I put the events at the commune. I put a couple conferences. I put a couple cleansing baths off the way. And here I am. So I don't want to offend you. This is your show. But at the same time, Bobby, I just want you to think. I just want you to get inside your narrow mind. And that's not a fault of you. That's just the way you are, naturally, as a vessel on this planet. You know?
Well, this has been a very enlightening interview so far. I gotta be
I
honest.
It makes you think. See, that's the one
It
thing.
opens.
Cause see, I could come on here and be like, "Well, there, brother, bro, I'm just gonna cook," like the Hulk Hogan's and the Randy Savages and the Ultimate Warriors, all just, woo. But no, I'm here to enlighten. That's not just my wrestling thing. It's my life's ambition, pal.
Your life story.
But I'm here to have fun. So, anyways, I digress.
Yeah.
Bobby, we could probably talk for 2 hours, but I know you're a timely man, so please, this is your show. My next question.
Okay. Dream match. It can be anyone not living currently. Can be anyone living. Who is it?
Dream match. Well,
If you have one, you can name a few if you'd like.
who's on top of the world right now in this business?
Right now,
Right at
Cody
this
Rhodes.
moment. The American Nightmare.
Yep.
What does Cody Rhodes possess that makes him the top of this business?
The undisputed WWE Championship.
You forgot Universal, but that's okay. Rookie mistake.
Do
Um,
no wait. Do they? I thought they dropped Universal.
I mean, the wise man still says it, but I don't know. It's a new
Let me look
era.
into that.
But anyway, to answer your question, there that it answers itself. You know,
Okay.
Cody Rhodes, he's on top of the world. He's got the undisputed title. He's got the highest prestige in all of the wrestling business. That's my dream
Yeah.
match. Because if
There you
not
go.
only if I had a title around my waist or on my side right here, also while I can spread what's in the book of Gabriel, that's what it is. If you expected me to say some like New Japan or some sort of
No.
like dream match where I have it against me against so and so, that's fine and dandy. I appreciate that. There's a lot of people out there that would answer that question differently. But for me, there's only one way to the top. And right now, that guy's Cody Rhodes.
Mhm. And to go back to what we were saying, we are both correct, my friend. On WWE.com, it says the undisputed. It has him listed twice as the undisputed WWE champion and the Universal champion.
Oh, okay.
So we're both fairly right. Credit where
Right.
credit is due. Yeah, because I was like,
Absolutely.
yeah, all right, we're both there. Zero News says, what about the Tribal Chief, who I was rooting for in Philly, by the way.
Oh yeah. I mean, you look at what Roman's accomplished. Cody talks about I've heard him say in his rantings and ravings is that he went from undesirable to undeniable, which I agree with. But you also can say the same thing about the tribal chief, Roman
You're
Reigns,
100% right.
because before, when he came out there, he was talking about suffering succotash and it's my yard now and whatever he was trying to say, he was constantly getting slapped in the face by the people
Yep.
everywhere he went. But when he decided to cut the crap, cut the BS, cut the fake happy go lucky, like I was telling you earlier, the kissing baby, shaking hands, loving on the people, he decided to be the tribal chief and embrace who his family, literally his legacy is. And he was champ for 4 years. Biggest box office draw in pro wrestling, arguably. Got himself on the Mount Rushmore. But right now, in this current day, in this sacred moment in time, the tribal chief is no longer champion.
That's true.
So, yeah, obviously, I love and respect Roman Reigns. But at the same time, he doesn't have the title. So, that's my ultimate dream match.
Okay.
Is that WWE Undisputed Universal Heavyweight Championship.
There we go. Got both of them. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and we will show this too. I was in Philly night 2 for WrestleMania, and after that first match, I was completely over the moon about this man winning the world championship. And it all came crashing down 5 minutes later.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
this is literally what I was talking about earlier, because
Mm,
you're promised one thing, and you may even get that,
yep.
but it just slips away or gets yanked out of your hands.
Yep.
So I know that you felt that pain, Bobby.
Oh, I was.
I can see it in your face.
I'll show you the video.
You're still wanting Drew McIntyre to be
Yeah.
champion.
Yes.
When you look at Damian Priest, you sit there and say, "Not my champion, not my person."
Nope.
You're saying bisexual Undertaker with like anger in your heart and not just in like a whatever happy
Mm,
go lucky way.
mm,
That's a threat. And Bobby, you need to check your heart because it's 2024. You could get canceled for saying that. So that's
true.
my wise words of advice. Don't have anger in your heart when you say that.
I'm trying. I'm trying. It's just we'll put up the picture again for a minute. I was at the 2020 Rumble and saw this man win it live. I was over the
Mm.
moon. I was over the moon. I was in Houston. Great trip. I watched him from my couch win it in front of no one. Took him over 4 years to get back to that. He finally wins it. I look at the people around me, the people I made friends with. I say, just leave the ring, Drew. Just leave the ring. He leaves the ring. He presents the belt to his wife. I look at the people around me saying, he's fine. We're good. Oh boy, was I wrong.
Well, you saw obviously what Drew's biggest mistake was
Yep.
is that his ego got the best of him.
He made it about Punk.
He wanted to show whether he felt that he was right or wrong, which I think to some degree, I think Drew should have done that.
Yeah.
But he can never underestimate Mr. Phil Brooks, aka CM Punk, because
Yep.
the man is also a maestro on the mic. Everywhere he goes, he gets talked about, he gets cheered, people yell his name, people scream. He's so popular in the wrestling business that he is featured on one show where in person and then one in video footage, and people still chant his name in both companies. It's amazing. And it's wild. So when Drew did something like that, well, you know, I get it. I feel you because I felt how you felt. I saw that 2020 Royal Rumble and I thought to myself, Wow. What a moment. What a guy. Another guy that went from un I can't even. I'm flubbing up the word right now.
Undesirable to
It
undeniable.
escapes me. I have to channel in my old uh, WWE Hall of Famer Thunderbolt Harrison. Ooh, if I just had some time. But he went from undeniable to or undesirable to undeniable
Yeah,
himself.
yes, he did.
Yes, he did because he went from being in the three man band and all that to he got let go and now he's back and look where he's at now.
Yep.
Top guy.
And I fully believe he's going to win it in Scotland. But
So are you trying to get the Drew finishes story thing going?
of course, I've been waiting for it for 4 years.
Well, Bobby, the time's
I
now. Start get
Yeah,
on Twitter, get on
I've been
Instagram
waiting.
right now, and start that hashtag. You
Clash
have the
at the
power to do
Castle.
it.
Yep. Yeah, I do. You're right. Clash. Oh, go ahead.
No, no, no. I was just
Oh, oh,
I was getting excited, and then I realized I'm like, you know what? I felt like Bobby has something on his mind because you know what?
I
I
do.
know it's a tender moment for you,
I
and
do.
so I don't want to make you too emotional.
And then we'll move on. Clash at the Castle 2022. I'm watching it. I'm going crazy. I think they're going to give Drew this win. It's in his home country. 70,000 people, whatever it was, 60,000 people.
Mm.
He hits that Claymore. One, two. Ref gets pulled up by Solo Sikoa. My mother, not a wrestling fan. She knew I was watching. I said Drew lost. And she knows I love Drew. She's like, oh, well, maybe he'll win it on Monday. I said, Mom, they're not in the UK on Monday. They're back in America. And she goes, oh, that's stupid. And I agree. I agree. But anyway, but you mentioned something before, and I do want to pick your brain about this because I do ask people this question. There's plenty of different directions you can go, and I'm always curious to see where people go. Your Mount Rushmore.
Oh, my Mount Rushmore of people. Like, let's
Four
just say
names. Yep.
like five people or so.
Four. You got to do four. That's what
Four.
Mount
Okay, perfect.
Rushmore is.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
I
duh.
wish it was five. I wish it was
Because
five.
yes, but yeah, Mount Rushmore in all its majestic glory, it's got four people. I totally understand. I have to say this, and this may be a bit cliche,
Oh boy.
because this person has a special place in my heart.
Okay.
Before I went on this path, I understood who this person was. He was so bright, his light shined so bright, I literally could not see him. John Cena.
Okay. That's okay. That's fair.
And this is in no particular order. This is just
Yeah.
my
Yeah. Of
four
course.
people. Um, I'd have to say, of course, and like I said, don't yell at me on the internet. It's my top four. Bobby asked me to do four, so I'm gonna
Yep.
tell all y'all my four.
And I will give my four too. And I've been yelled at plenty of times.
Um, I think people like Bray Wyatt
Okay.
because even because the fact that you had someone like myself, probably someone you as well, and many other people who you've never met the man, you've never talked to him, and you may have, I don't know, but like,
I have. I did get to meet him.
oh, that's perfect. So
Yeah.
even though that one time, there's something about him that made you feel and made you connect with.
Yep.
And I think that's something that is insanely admirable because there's a lot of people out there that can do a lot of moves, that can do a lot of things, but can they make you feel? Can they hit you right in your telltale heart,
Mm.
no matter what, when you're watching, and just for a second, get yourself caught up in all the lore. So that's another of my Mount Rushmore.
You're halfway there.
Um, yes. Um, I think my third one would be, gosh, I think Randy Orton would be on that
Okay.
because Randy Orton is another one that you still see him today. He looks better than he has even years ago when he was in his prime, physique
Yeah.
wise.
Yeah.
And the
You ain't
fact that
lying.
he's still relevant, and the fact too is like a piggyback on that as well, is that he made you feel something. As a fan of the "You Can't See Me" man, when I was just a young vessel here on this planet, I wanted to punch Randy Orton in his face. When
Yes.
Randy Orton RKO'd John Cena on a table and put John Cena on the shelf, which they said was going to be a year, I was pissed. There was my hero. There was my man that I just I wanted him to win so bad. But there he was, Randy Orton, all his glory and his slithery looking around, and he made you feel something.
Yeah.
Because then when old John Cena came back at the Royal Rumble that year,
Oh,
talk about a memory. Talk about literally just one of the one of the great memories and moments in wrestling history. Because at Madison Square Garden, the place just erupts. The man just beats all the odds. Great story.
hands down one of the greatest comebacks I've or some I'm sorry, hands down one of the greatest returns I've ever seen. And if you have never seen the behind the scenes of Jimmy Corderas with that return, go watch it. It will open your mind and it will be like, wow, that's crazy. But your fourth, I'm sorry, yes, your fourth Mount Rushmore, Mike.
Um, it's a tough one because I know there's a lot of people even from times of old and even before I was even born watching
Sure.
stuff. But I think uh quite frankly, mm, it's a tough one. Cause see, on one hand, I can sit there and say, of course, someone like Stone Cold Steve Austin, who's an absolute star, who is great in all every fiber told great stories, had a believable personality, was able to convey thoughts, and you could connect with him as well. But I'd probably say that one of my favorite people to watch when I was growing up. I honestly, and this one might be cliche too, but I'd have to say old Nature Boy Ric Flair. And then
Okay,
as I
that's fair.
yeah, and then
That's fair.
and a lot of
Mm.
times just for the way Rick just knew how to convey things, even though his personality, he was the jet flying, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing son of a gun.
Son of a gun.
When he got in that ring, anybody that stepped in the ring with him always was able to be elevated. They always were able to be just he could get in there and have a great match with a cardboard box. But also,
I
he
100%
changed the
agree.
game. He changed the game. I mean, I'm assuming you probably watched the documentary, the Ric Flair
Uh,
documentary.
the ESPN one, I believe.
There's one on Peacock.
No, then if it's just strictly on Peacock, no. I've watched the 30 for 30 on Ric Flair though.
Oh, but anyway, but yeah, I mean,
It's probably like the same, you know.
it probably is, but I mean,
Yeah.
he changed the way that even people dress. Like you see,
Yeah.
like the NBA players wearing all the fits or wearing to the ring and
Yeah.
doing this and that. I mean, he's still relevant today, and in all his flaws and all
Mhm.
his shortcomings, the man still seems to stay relevant.
Mhm. I agree. I have met the man. absolute legend. Uh, it was when I sat next to him and took the picture, I was like over the moon. It was incredible. But I'm gonna give you my four,
Go ahead.
and oddly enough, we don't have any of the same people.
There, hey.
So that's what's great about this conversation. That's why I love asking people. But I'm gonna go from probably the least shocking to most shocking because I have been ripped apart for my fourth one by a fellow friend of the channel, also independent wrestler. I'm not sure if you're familiar with her, Black Dahlia.
I think I've heard of her. Yeah.
Yeah, she ripped me a new one for my fourth one. But we'll get into that. My first one, I think you have to have this man on. He walked so everybody else could run. Is he a great person in real life? No. Has he said some things he's not supposed to? Yes. But let me tell you something, brother. Hulk Hogan is my first one. He put wrestling on the map. I think he deserves a spot on the map. I I can't justify not putting him on, to be
Yeah.
completely honest with you. My
Yeah, that's
second one,
absolutely understandable. He was what kids loved and people admired that. And so of
yeah,
course, I completely understand that one. That one's not
mm,
shocking at all.
yeah, he put. Oh yeah, I'm going from least shocking to most shocking. He put wrestling on
Okay.
the map. He he made wrestling what it is. My second
Yeah.
one, not so shocking again. Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was the top guy, and you mentioned him before. He was the top guy when wrestling was at its peak. And don't get me wrong, wrestling is hot right now. But
Yes.
when he was the top guy, it was levels above. So can't. He deserves a spot on it. Household name, just like Hogan. Uh, yes. My third one, the greatest character of all time. I have had the pleasure to meet this man, and I was starstruck when I did. The Undertaker.
There
I
you go.
from the I when I went up and I shook his hand, I was like it was one of those moments where you're just like, holy moly.
Oh yeah.
And,
Yeah, the
and,
Undertaker's a legend too. He's another
and
one. He's a dead man. He's
if I
defied the
if
odds.
if I ever get to meet John Cena, I'm gonna be the same way because John Cena is my dude. He doesn't make my Mount Rushmore, but he is my dude. Honorable mention to John Cena, Ric Flair, Rock on this Mount Rushmore. But the fourth spot, this is going to be controversial.
I'm bracing myself just in case.
Yeah, you might be mad. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll
This
see.
man, this man has had a long career, long, long, long career. Still going currently. Many nicknames. He's reinvented himself many times. The Ayatollah of rock and rolla, Chris Jericho.
Well,
Okay,
yeah, I
go.
mean, this version of Chris Jericho is the the midlife crisis
Yes.
getting a paycheck. But of course, yeah, Chris Jericho is fantastic. He's a great worker. He's a great in-ring talent. And yeah, he's had a great career. He actually, one of his first times getting on American TV was here in East Tennessee, Smoky Mountain Wrestling, run by
Yep.
Jim Cornette, the Jim Cornette. Um, and that was him and gosh, I don't know why I'm blanking on the name. God, Lan Lance Storm. I don't know why.
Oh yeah,
My
yeah, of
brain
course.
was a little cloudy. Him and Lance Storm were
Yep.
a tag team, and that was like their big. That was like his big American break
Mm,
before he got signed to WCW and all that. So Smoky Mountain
mm,
Wrestling.
yeah. I, you were much calmer than Black Dahlia was. I think Jericho deserves his praise. I
Did she
mean,
have like some beef towards him or something?
I don't know. So when I had her on my interview, this was about the time when how do I put this gingerly? The news came out, the rumors came out about him and Kylie Ray. I'm sure you're familiar with
Oh,
that.
yep,
So that I'm
yeah,
sure that didn't help causes, but like I said, you put that aside. Hogan's done some bad things. You put that aside.
yeah,
You
and
know?
it's one of those things that's just like
Yeah.
it's rumors, and obviously if it's true, that's
Yeah.
terrible,
It's
and that's
awful. Yeah. But in ring wise, wrestling wise, I'm not talking about
absolutely,
him personally. Just in ring.
yeah,
Tyler Helton says, "Yo, what is up, Tyler Helton? How we doing tonight?"
yo,
But yeah, I think. But like you threw a lot of names on there that deserve a spot. Cena, Orton was an interesting one, but I'm not disagreeing. Bray, I'm not sure I could put him on there. Love Bray Wyatt. Don't get me wrong,
of
but I'm.
course,
But your reasoning for him on there, I totally agree with. It's not like I'm sitting there like, no. With the way you put it, it's just like, yeah, I understand. Randy Orton, same thing with Jericho. Longevity, reinvented himself a few times. You hated Randy Orton, and he was doing his job right. Because I hated Randy Orton too back then.
oh yeah, yeah,
Oh,
that's the mark of what people want to see. So
when like you said, when he took out John Cena, leading to the greatest comeback in one of the greatest returns in Royal Rumble history, hands down, because it was so out of left field. Nobody knew that was coming. And
yes,
I'll
that
let
was
you in. Go ahead. Sorry.
no. I was agreeing with you.
Yeah. I'll let you in on a little tidbit from that Jimmy Corderas interview. I'll have to get you that link. There was only two people. No, I'm sorry. Three people in the ring who knew he was coming back. In the ring. The refs around the outside, they knew. But the rest of the people in the ring, they had no idea until that music hit. And if you go back and watch it, you'll see Carlito's reaction. He is stunned beyond belief, which is
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, it was they do that type of stuff. It's it that it helps everybody because everybody gets a more natural reaction and a whole and so it's not just a like it's not just a little facade. It's an
Mhm.
actual legit like OMG moment
Yep.
for sure.
I I was 12, 2008. I was 11 years old. I was going on 12. Uh, I was sitting on my floor watching that Royal Rumble with my mother. I'm like, Triple H came out because I was going through my head. I'm like, Triple H came out at 29. I was like, who could be 30? I'm running through names in my head. I'm like, all right, we'll see. The music hits, and I'm like, and even the crowd lost their mind.
They did that. They did one of my favorite
I
ones to watch.
I think that and Edge's return in 2020 are my top two.
Yeah, that was a special moment. I was Edge was another one. I
I was
hated
there.
Edge too. I hated Edge.
Oh
So
yes.
but him coming back after being gone because he thought he never wrestle again,
hmm
very inspirational.
He was gone. Let's just round it up. We'll say 9 years he was gone.
Yeah.
And as a man who was live and in attendance at Minute Maid Park, just to hear the "You think you know me," my mind went black. I
Yeah.
lost my mind, and I've told this before, but I will tell it again. If you could see that picture,
Did you get
that
on
that
you
is from
got on
Edge's return. Yep.
wow.
The guy in the orange is my father. Yep. Yep.
That's fantastic.
I had no idea in the moment. I get back to my hotel. My buddy's it's my friend, but my buddy's girlfriend, she sends the video to me and my father. It's a screen
Mm-hmm.
recording. It's us. He texts me. He goes, "You're welcome, by the way." I was like, "For what?" He goes, "How do you think she figured out you were on TV?" So he's watching. He sees it, and he goes, "Rewind that." And she's like, "Why?" He goes, "Just rewind, please." So she rewinds, and he goes, "Pause it right here." She pauses it. He goes, "Who is that on the TV?" And she's like, "Oh my god." He said it went by. The reaction went by, and he was like, "That was Bobby." He's like, "That was 100% Bobby." So he's like, incredible. But yeah, what a time! Top two Royal Rumble returns for sure. Edge
Oh
and
yeah.
Cena. I mean, because they were like, there have been Royal Rumble returns before that were great, but like we knew they were coming, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
who has returned recently in the Rumble? Like, did anybody big return this year?
I think Andrade made his return,
Andrade,
but
we had an idea. He was
yeah,
out at
yeah,
AEW. Cena, we had no idea, and Edge. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, Edge might be in the Rumble, but then
yeah,
Beth Phoenix came out earlier, and I thought to myself, oh, Edge might just be here to watch Beth wrestle. So I put that in my mind because couples do that.
yeah.
Michelle McCool has been backstage to watch Taker, that kind of thing. So I put that in my head. I said, all right, don't get too hyped. If Edge doesn't come back, we understand why. Obvious, it's a very good reason. When the music hit, I blacked out, lost my mind. I was all in on McIntyre winning until Edge's music hit, and I said, if Edge wins this Rumble, I'm not gonna be mad. But Michael, thank you for joining me tonight, my friend. We are
Thank
going to
you.
have to do this again.
Yes,
Do you have anything you want to plug, promote, endorse? Go for it now, my friend.
absolutely. If any of you guys are still sticking around and want to hear any more and see anything else, you can follow me on Instagram at Mr. underscore Michael underscore Gabriel. Um, all my stuff pops up. Um, I do have. I don't know. I honestly cannot even remember if we've been having such great conversation that if you even plugged this, but I am taking pre-orders for a
No,
new
no,
merchandise option, a new shirt to show
yeah.
off your Guiding Light affiliate allegiance. You can just go on Facebook. I'm on Mike Gabriel Instagram. Shoot me a DM. I haven't set it up with any of the big shots, big stores or anything. Like, just message me. We'll figure something out.
Yep.
Um, and you can catch me coming soon. If you're close by or live, one of the big opportunities on the horizon is May 10th in Sunbright, Tennessee. NWA JCP is having a show out there, and who knows? You could see me and my pal Evan Golden potentially on NWA television soon. Who knows? You never know who's going to show up. And when we
Awesome.
do, we're going to make a statement and we're going to show
Love it.
how much the guiding light really shines upon everybody. So,
Love it. I love it. Be on the lookout for that. Friend of the channel, Michael Gabriel. Of course, thank you for coming on. We have your back. We are supporting you full 100% through and through. And yes, hit up Mike or me for DMs. It might be easier if we just go through him for shirts. I am currently waiting on my shirt, and I believe I owe you a Bobby's Breakdowns hoodie, if memory
yes.
serves. Okay,
Yes.
we'll have to work that out. Well,
It's an even trade. My
oh, for
people
sure.
will send over stuff to your people and
There we go.
we'll
I love it.
yeah.
I love it. Yeah. We're gonna have to work that out for sure. But thank you again for joining me tonight. We will definitely do a part two in the future. Well, maybe
Yes.
a few months from now when you got more things going. Who knows? We'll figure it out. But again, thank you to everyone who joined, who commented. If you popped in just to listen, thank you. If you commented, thank you. If you just showed up, thank you. Thank you to Zero News for plugging in on his Twitter. I always appreciate that. Gets the viewers in here. And thank you to my mods for monitoring the chat. Nobody got out of hand tonight, so that's good. And
And getting
thank you.
haters.
yeah, yeah. Luckily, sometimes I get some crazy people in spam, but luckily not tonight. So that's good. But again, Michael Gabriel, thank you so much for joining me. I had a blast. This was fun. I am Bobby from Bobby's Breakdowns, and we will see you all next time, everybody. Have a good night. Goodbye. Later.
Let the guiding